All right, let's talk about money. Not the fun kind you find in a birthday card, but the serious kind you get from a bank. Imagine you have a brilliant idea. Maybe you want to start a business or go to college or even just buy a car to get to work. These things cost a lot, right? More than most people have just sitting around. This is where banks step in. They are basically big buildings, full of money that they lend out to people who need it. You walk in, fill out some forms, and if they say yes, they give you a loan. It sounds simple, like a helpful neighbor lending you a cup of sugar. But it's a little more complicated than that. The whole process is built on a promise. You promise to pay the bank back, and the bank promises that the money will be there for you when you need it. But here's the first big question we have to ask. Who gets to borrow the money? Banks have rules, and they look at a lot of things before they decide. They check your job, how much you earn, and your history of paying things back. Sometimes it feels like they're judging your whole life story, not just your financial situation. This process can be tough, and not everyone who needs help gets approved, which can feel incredibly unfair, especially when you're just trying to get a leg up in life. Now let's get to the really tricky part. When the bank gives you that money, say £1,000, they don't just ask for £1,000 back, they ask for more. This extra amount is called interest. It's like a fee for borrowing their money. So, over time, you end up paying back the original £1,000 plus the interest. This is how banks make their money and grow into these massive, powerful institutions. They aren't just a community service, they are businesses, and their main goal is to make a profit. Understanding this is key to seeing the whole picture of how our global economy works. And it's where the system starts to get a bit controversial for a lot of people. So, think of it like this. You're essentially renting money. Just like you'd pay rent to live in an apartment, you pay interest to use the bank's money for a certain period. The longer you take to pay it back, the more interest you usually have to pay. This concept is at the very heart of our financial world. It affects everything from personal loans for a new phone to massive government debts that shape the futures of entire countries. But as we'll see, what seems like a simple business transaction can have huge consequences, creating a world of winners and losers and raising serious questions about fairness. So you borrow £1,000, but the bank asks you to pay back £2,000. Let that sink in. You have to earn double the amount you were given just to settle your debt. When you see it written down like that, it's easy to understand why many people feel like something is wrong. They look at that extra £1,000 and think, wait a minute, where did that money come from? I'm paying for money that was never really there. To them, it doesn't feel like a fair fee for a service. It feels more like a penalty for not being rich enough to afford things in the first place. It can feel like a trap designed to keep people in debt. This feeling of injustice isn't new. People have been debating interest for centuries. Many feel it's a form of robbery, a way for those who already have money, the banks, to take even more from those who don't. Think about it. The people who need loans the most are often the ones who are struggling. They need money for emergencies, for education, to escape poverty. But the interest payments can become a heavy weight, a constant burden that makes it even harder to get ahead. Instead of being a ladder to help you climb up, the loan can feel like a deep hole that you're constantly trying to dig yourself out of. Of course, the banks have their side of the story. They'll tell you that charging interest is necessary. They say it covers the risk they take. What if you can't pay the loan back? They also say it covers their business costs, like paying their employees and keeping the lights on. They even argue that interest is what encourages them to lend money in the first place, which helps the economy grow. Without the potential to make a profit from interest, they claim there would be less money available for everyone to borrow, which could freeze up businesses and opportunities for everyone. It's presented as a vital part of the system, but even if you accept their reasons, you can't ignore the real-world impact. For millions of people, high-interest loans are not a path to prosperity. They are a source of stress and hardship. The system seems to benefit the lenders far more than the borrowers. It creates a cycle where wealth gets concentrated at the top in the hands of the financial institutions, while ordinary people struggle to keep up with ever-growing debts. This is especially true for the most vulnerable in society, who often face the highest interest rates making their journey toward financial stability almost impossible from the start. The big idea behind money should be simple. It's a tool to help people live better lives. It should help us build homes, grow food, get an education, and care for each other. But what happens when the system that controls money is more focused on making profits for a small group of people? We see the consequences all around us. Banks and governments sometimes seem more interested in their own growth and power than in the well-being of the citizens they are supposed to serve. This can lead to decisions that hurt millions of ordinary people while making a select few incredibly wealthy. For example, sometimes the loan approval process doesn't seem fair at all. We hear stories about how your background, your accent, or even the color of your skin might influence a bank's decision. This kind of discrimination, whether it's conscious or not, can lock entire communities out of the financial system. It means that talented, hardworking people are denied the chance to start a business or buy a home simply because they don't fit a certain profile. This isn't just unfair, it's a waste of human potential. It reinforces inequality and holds everyone back, creating a society of haves and have-nots. This focus on profit can also lead to bigger problems. We've seen financial crises like the one in 2008 or the recent scares in October 2025, where risky and sometimes fraudulent behavior by banks caused the global economy to shake. People lost their homes, their jobs, and their savings, not because of anything they did wrong, but because of decisions made in boardrooms far away. In these situations, governments often step in to bail out the banks, using taxpayer money. This leaves many people asking, why is there always money to save the banks, but not enough to help people who are homeless or hungry? It all points to a system with skewed priorities. When the main goal is just to make more money, people become numbers on a spreadsheet. Their hopes, their dreams, and their basic needs can get lost in the shuffle. Money that could be used to build schools, hospitals, and clean energy infrastructure is instead cycled through financial markets to generate more profit. This creates a world with immense wealth and incredible technology, yet one where basic problems like poverty and inequality continue to grow. It's a paradox that we have to confront if we want a better world. Across the globe, from the bustling streets of Johannesburg to the quiet towns in rural America, there is a growing feeling that things are not right. People are tired of a system that seems rigged against them. They see the vast difference between the lives of the super rich and their own daily struggles, and they are starting to demand something better. This isn't about envy, it's about a deep human desire for justice, fairness, and the chance to live a dignified life. People everywhere believe they have a right to share in the world's prosperity, not just watch it from the sidelines. The fundamental belief is that the earth and its resources should be for everyone. The systems we've built, the banks, the governments, the corporations, should be in service of humanity. Their purpose should be to uplift all people, not just to create and protect the wealth of a small elite. When a bank makes it almost impossible for a family to afford a home, or when a country is buried under so much debt that it can't provide for its citizens, it's clear that the system is failing. It's a system that has lost its connection to the people it is meant to support. This is why today, on December 19th, 2025, it is more important than ever to ask the hard questions. We must look at our financial institutions and ask, are you helping or are you hurting? Is the way you operate creating more opportunity, or is it creating more desperation? Can we imagine a different kind of banking, one that is rooted in community and compassion rather than just profit? A system where money is a tool for empowerment for all, not a weapon of control used by a few. These are not radical questions, they are essential ones. The time for blind faith in the old ways is over. It is time to challenge the idea that this is the only way things can be. We need to start a conversation, especially among young people who will inherit this world, about how we can redesign our financial system. It is time to demand a system that helps everyone build a better life, not just a system that helps the rich get richer. The goal is simple: a world where the economy serves people and not the other way around. It's time for a change that ensures fairness and opportunity for all, not just for a select few.